People who have lost their minds, and gentlemen, Joe Biden wants us to know that he rides AMTRAK. Don't you find it funny? This urban mass transit is supposed to be for po people, yet you got a multi-million-dollar career politician who spent almost half a century in politics. And how many years? 40-some in the Senate? Who cares? Does anybody even care? No, I don't. And yet you've got this multi-million-dollar clown who's never created a job in the private sector using AMTRAK. And that's just the half of it. Another part of this, see the link underneath the video, of course. AMTRAK, otherwise known as the giant vacuum that sucks up taxpayer wallets. AMTRAK should close all routes that are not in the Northeast Corridor because they do not make any money. Thousands upon thousands of folks are not itching to travel to Jerkwater, Montana every week. No offense to my friends in Jerkwater, Montana. Once all those routes outside the Northeast Corridor are shuttered, it should be sold off and or its assets liquidated. I can't even talk, period. It doesn't run a profit. If it did not get subsidies from people who do not ride it, it would die, period. In fiscal year 2013, AMTRAK received over $1.5 billion in taxpayer subsidies. In fiscal year 2014, it was $1.4 billion. That's a great deal if you're not paying for it. But people need AMTRAK, some will say. One, it's not a post road, thus it is not constitutional. Two, at least not on the federal level, let Massachusetts, New York, Washington, D.C., let those taxpayers fund it if it is to exist. Two, it's obvious the folks riding are not paying to keep it running because then they would squawk at the exorbitant prices. Reminds me of the NFL soaking taxpayers to build a new stadium. Let the folks who buy the merchandise, let the advertisers on TV, let the folks who buy tickets for that garbage, let them pay for it. People who don't give a flying squirrel about the NFL or AMTRAK should not pay for it. Same goes for AMTRAK, of course. AMTRAK's own literature is very candid in admitting what I've said. It has a poor business model, and once folks who do not ride it quit paying for it, it will die the death it deserves. It's always easier to get folks who don't use it to pay for it, right? Imagine if every business did that. The horrors of bankruptcy for AMTRAK, some poor taxpayer won't get bilked anymore. That's so unfair. Unfair to whom? AMTRAK lost over $3.6 billion in fiscal year 2012 to 2014 alone. Nice job. So why on earth do we to continue to subsidize and support this entity? Because these idiots in Washington are either economically illiterate or they're trying to buy votes or both. So that ends all I have to say about AMTRAK. I haven't updated. I wrote that several years ago, but Joe Biden, AMTRAK. AMTRAK's a complete failure. And yet here he is, a multi-million-dollar senator riding AMTRAK. Not only does AMTRAK get subsidies, but Joe Biden's, I don't think he's ever made a dime in the private sector that wasn't connected to his political career. AMTRAK should die the death it deserves, and Joe Biden should be rejected for the idiot that he is. Have a nice day, and don't thank me now.